Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome to Leadershipisation, all things leadership. I'm Beth Bergen. I'm a global leadership and communication coach. And my purpose, my goal is to help executives and managers build their own influence. And I do this through powerful communication and leadership tips, what I call leadership intelligence. So, that these people can lead cohesive teams, they can drive the results that are required for their role, and they can increase their own visibility in the organization and the sector that they work in. So, I'm here live most Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, we talk a lot on leadershipization about building your leadership intelligence and building your leadership and your communication skills. And what I also talk about, and I find I talk about this a lot with my clients, is that what got you to where you are right now isn't going to get you up here to where you need to go. What got you here won't get you there. There's this gap in the middle. And this is all about you continuing to build your skills, continuing to grow. And for me, what I know this begins with is with self awareness. Now, many new leaders, and you might be amongst them, many new leaders suffer from imposter syndrome. They're trying to be everything to everyone all the time when they're not feeling as though they're failing. And this leads to stress, it leads to frustration, the sense of failure. They get really tired. And some of the clients that I work with are totally in overwhelm because of what's going on. So today, what I want to look at is 3 key tactics to build your confidence. And I want to build this confidence without you actually losing touch with who you are. Because what's important is that you maintain some authenticity. Okay, so I've got 3 of these. Right, the first one, stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Now, we've only got a few minutes today to look at this, but this is actually huge. Very often, this is at the core of our imposter syndrome, and it demonstrates our lack of self confidence without us necessarily even saying sorry a whole lot. So, let me give you some examples of what we say without even thinking about it. Sorry for interrupting. Oh, look, I was just thinking, is it okay if I say something? Now, all 3 of those are things that you probably hear around a meeting table all the time. What happens when you say these phrases all the time is that you signal that your ideas, your opinions, your presence doesn't actually matter. It's not valuable because what you're starting with is an apology. Yeah? The message diminishes you, it dismisses you before you actually speak. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. Or is it okay if I add my thoughts in here? Always what you're actually doing is undermining yourself. So this is an apology without you always actually saying that you're sorry. So I want you to notice when you're saying sorry and when you're not actually saying sorry. So what am I trying to say here? What I want you to do is to try and cut saying the word sorry out of your language, but also try and notice and then stop saying or try and cut these apologies out of your language as well, particularly in meeting situations or in situations where people that will have the potential to become your advocates that you want to notice you, particularly in situations where they're there. It's useful to speak up, yes. It's not useful to actually put yourself down by asking if you can speak up. So I want you to notice those two things and look to replace them with things like this. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Instead of saying, sorry, I'm late. Excuse me, my thoughts on this are, or simply make the statement without the apology. So rather than saying, is it okay if I say something? Make your statement. My thoughts on this are, and spiel it out. Yeah? You'll be much more impactful as a result of that. The second thing I'd like you to do is this. I'd like you to learn to celebrate the silence. Learn to celebrate the silence. Now, this is all about embracing the silence rather than feeling like what you have to do is fill it. Rather than thinking, oh, this feels a bit awkward, I need to fill this. So why is this important? Well, when you look nervous, when you look uncertain, when you're rushing to justify or explain or to fill up those awkward moments, that's what comes across. You look nervous, you look uncertain. And we don't want you to feel as though you've got to justify and explain or fill the silence. Sit with it. So, what I recommend to my clients is that they celebrate the silence by speaking and then celebrating in their head. Now, it might be that you choose a song. It might be that it's a favorite song or that you just choose a beat and you run with that beat. But you do that silently in your head because then what you're doing is pausing. And the longer you can pause for, the more likely someone else is to fill that gap. 15 seconds, I think, is around about the average time before somebody else will come in. Now, it's not, if you're sitting there looking awkward, if you're sitting there looking uncomfortable, then what will happen is that you'll portray that when you rush to fill that gap. So celebrate the silence and you will have a much more confident presence. It will be a whole lot more confident for you. Okay? Number 3 that we're looking at today is this. Own the things that you achieve. So own your achievements. Now, quite often when we look at other people and we think, what are they doing? How did they manage to get to where they've got to? We think, oh, I don't want to behave like that. I don't want to be bragging to everybody and showing off and telling them how awesome I am. And because we don't like that, our response can be to go kind of too far the other way. Own your achievements and do this in a way that's humble. Show some humility. As a leader, demonstrate that you've got an intellectual ability. Demonstrate that you've got some personal humility. Demonstrate what your values or your morals are by not being over the top about it. Now, when we think about this individual aspect of you, this intellectual rather aspect of your leadership, what you're demonstrating with your humility is that you can always learn from other people. Ask questions, be curious. There's always something that you can learn from other people. And what's important is that when you're learning from other people, you're not upping them by saying, oh, yeah, well, when I did that, this is what happened for me. Or I won this award, or I did this over here. Demonstrate with humility. The moral aspect of leadership is just this awareness that you might be, and others might be, vulnerable under stress. And in certain contexts, you might lose your way. And that's okay. It's perfectly all right to own the failures as well as owning the achievements. Now, people always say to me, that's insane. Why would you say that? Why would you want to own your failures? Well, when you have the humility to own your failures, what actually happens is that you're more easily able to communicate the learnings from those failures to other people. So you don't keep on making the same mistake over and over again. Yeah. So think about that. Be aware that you can be vulnerable under stress and that you can be vulnerable in certain contexts and that you might just lose your way. And don't be too arrogant about the fact that I can achieve anything. I'm good in any situation because of what I've already done. So I have that humility to be prepared to learn from others. The third aspect is personal. Like, listen to others, celebrate people's milestones, celebrate your own milestones, and listen to what others have to say about you and take that on board because it's important that you accept the praise from others. Learn to accept the praise just as I've asked you to learn to accept the feedback and recognize that in your achievements, there has been a contribution from other people. Because when you recognize the role that other people have made to your achievements, you're much more likely to bring your team along with you. They'll want to do things for you because you've acknowledged them. Now, this humility is not about being passive. It's not about lacking in self-confidence. It's more about, how to put it? It's more about a really balanced view of yourself. And it's much more about building those positive relationships. As I said before, you have that humility and you bring your team along with you, and they want to spend time with you. They love to spend time with you. It works really well. If your successes are impressive, share them. Don't hide them, share them. Be visible because when you are visible, others will see you as leadership material. When you apologize for yourself, as we talked about with point one, when you apologize for yourself, you're not being visible. You're undermining yourself before you even start. But you want others to see you as leadership material. When people compliment your work, it's important that you say thank you rather than justifying what happened. But this also can be a good time to acknowledge the work that the team put in. But don't be saying, oh, no, it wasn't any, yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it was no big deal because it was a big deal. Accept the compliment. So that's something that maybe you need to work on, accepting compliments. And then finally, my tip to you here is to maintain a journal. Maintain a journal of your accomplishments and get familiar with them. And the reason why this is so important is because you need examples. You need examples for your interviews, you need examples for applications, you need examples for your CV or your resume. So don't be thinking now, oh, what was that project that I did 12 months ago that we won that award for? Actually, make a note of it in a journal of your accomplishments so that you can go back and have a look at those as you're building your career. All of these tactics, and this is what I love about them, every single one of these tactics will help you to build your confidence as a leader without you losing contact with that authentic you. Okay, if you've got any questions or comments, please pop them on the platform that you're watching this on, and my team and I will get back to you as quickly as we can. If you're watching a replay, love it if you would put hashtag replay, and we'll just reach out and connect with you to see if you've got any comments to share with us as well. I'm here to build influential leaders. That's my goal. And I do that so that you can lead your team better, so that you can drive the things that need to be driven, and so that you can become more visible and take advantage of opportunities for new projects, for stretch assignments, and potentially promotion, either inside or outside your organization. So reach out if what you'd like to do is build your leadership intelligence, your authenticity, and to become more visible. See you next week. Bye now.